Hey guys, it's your girl Lashes Tony XO. How are you guys doing today? We're gonna do a tag video. I've been like binge watching Samantha March and Kelly Gooch, and they both did this tag called "If I Could Only Choose One." So I think Samantha March is the one that created this tag. So both Samantha and Kelly did do the palette version. I saw that and I was like, yes, I want to do the palette version. So basically what you're supposed to do is the palettes that you have more than one of. So the palettes you have the most of. You're going to choose between, let's say you have 5 Morphe palettes, okay? You're going to pick which Morphe palette would you choose out of the 5. Do you feel me? And then Kelly kind of explained it as you're not necessarily picking your favorite, but I don't know. I think I might be picking favorites. But it's more like if you only had like one of those palettes out of the brand, and you're supposed to think like, okay, is it going to be versatile? Can I do a lot of looks with it? You know, that type of thing. So basically that is how the tag goes. So I will put information down in the description box. My Instagram link, my YouTube link, my Facebook link, because I am doing giveaways this month. Probably towards the end of the month. So if you want to enter those giveaways or qualify for those giveaways, you must be following me and you must be subscribed to my channel. So also I will tag maybe a few people down here in the description box as well, if they would like, some of my YouTube friends, if they would like to do this tag. I love doing tags. I think they're fun, especially when you get tagged. I think that's even more fun. Okay, let's get started. Okay guys, so I was wrong a little bit, but I do have 9 Urban Decay palettes. Let me see if I can hold them without dropping them. Ow, ow, I hurt my hand. I have actually 9 Urban Decay palettes. So out of all my entire collection, Urban Decay is the most bought brand by me. Okay, so basically we have to break it down between like which one of these palettes, if I only could choose one. I can't hold all 9 palettes, so I'm not going to try to do that because I don't want to end up dropping these $50 palettes and be like crushed. But that's kind of like a little view. So I have the, what is this one called? I totally forgot. The Naked Reloaded palette, the Naked Heat palette, the Naked Cherry palette, the Smoky palette, the, what is this one? The Naked 2 palette, and the Born to Run palette. So I have all of those, which are really beautiful. And I also have the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette, which is so pretty. If you like just mattes like I do, it's a really beautiful palette. Sometimes you can get that on sale. I also have the Gwen Stefani palette. This palette I really didn't, I don't know, I didn't really enjoy the colors of this palette. I never use it, so I don't know. I also have this Alice in Wonderland, or the Disney's Alice Through the Looking Glass by Urban Decay. You know, they have like the Game of Thrones, and they have like different ones. This one basically I just bought because I wanted to, like, I thought the packaging was adorable. I wanted to keep it. So that one is, you know, I don't really, that's definitely not a necessity. So I'm not even gonna really include that. And like I said, I don't really think this is a great, it's a good, I mean, it's very pigmented, but it's not something like, I think you would have to have this palette and only this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and nix those 2 out. I do like this palette, but that's not what I'm going to choose. This one's a really good neutral palette, the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette, because if you couldn't pick up the Anastasia Sultry palette, because I think they said they discontinued it or something, this is a really good dupe for that palette. So if you couldn't get that, you might want to pick this up, because I'm pretty sure this one's still available. I do love the packaging of this one. The packaging of this one is like, it's just so luxe, and it's very slim. I love the packaging of that. You guys know, like, this is in my project pan. I'm a huge Naked Heat girl. I know a lot of people don't like this palette. I've seen people like declutter this palette. I've seen people talk about it in like different things. It is in my project pan because at one point, I haven't used this palette in a while, but at one point, this was the only palette I was using, and then Scorched was just really, really getting used. You could tell, like, I was really digging into that one right there. There's like a big dip in it. So it is my project pan, but I don't feel like this is the only palette you need. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to pick this one either. I know, shocker, right? So the ones that I don't feel like is going to get my money's worth of, like if I only could choose one palette type of thing, this one is the Naked Cherry. Now I do think this is a gorgeous palette. I love the purpley pink colors in here. I think you can come up with a lot of beautiful looks, but I mean, you might get bored with just having those colors, so I'm not going to pick that one either. Then you got this one, the Naked Smoky palette, which is a really beautiful cool tone, but I'm not much for cool tones, and plus there's a lot of blues, and I don't really like blues. I don't think I would pick that one. This one right here, another cool tone palette, Naked 2. I don't know, there's a lot of shimmers in it, but it's just not my cup of tea anymore. I wouldn't pick that one. So the winner for the Urban Decay, and like I said, it's not necessarily my favorite palette. It's just one I think you really get your money's worth out of, and you really have, like, if you only had this palette, you would have so many looks from, and that is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I think this is a beautiful palette. I think it is so worth the money. I mean, you could do so many looks with this. I mean, you could do a purple eye look. You got this purple. You got this like a reddish tone. You could do some orange, like an orange look right here, or these like brown colors. You could do a cool tone look. You could just do a really light look. I mean, there's so many looks that you could do with this palette. So I really do think the Born to Run Urban Decay palette is my choice. And I just think, like, if I only could keep one of my Urban Decay palettes, this would be the one I keep. Just because I could just do so much with it. And this is a beautiful palette. Like I said, also it's super pigmented. It's just a great palette. I would miss these palettes right here, but you know, you only can pick. Okay, so for the next category, I have Too Faced, brand Too Faced palettes. And with the Too Faced palettes, I actually have, again, I have more than I thought. So I have 4 of the like full-size palettes, and then I have 2 of the minis. So 4, 5, 6 palettes from Too Faced. So basically, you're supposed to pick the brands that you have the most of. That's how you're supposed to play the game. Alright, so let's go through the palettes real quick. I don't think I would pick the little minis just because I don't guess you would have as many looks with the minis. So this one is the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly. Although at one point, when I first started my YouTube channel, this was my absolute favorite palette. I loved all the warm tones and the purples in here. I just really liked it. So that was a very well loved palette. This palette's really pretty, but I didn't really get a lot of use of it. But this yellow though, look at that yellow. I've really been into yellows lately. This yellow is really pretty. Yeah, it's pretty, but basically, like I said, you're supposed to pick a palette that you feel would be beneficial to your collection. If you only had, this one's the Just Peachy Mattes. Oh my god, I love this palette so much, you guys. I love this palette. Yeah, that one right there is probably gonna win, but let's just go through these. The Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette, I was thinking about picking this one because although these are not colors I really like, you could do like a quick neutral look with these colors. And then also, like, you could use this as a highlight, like if you had to. I think Nikki's tutorial talked about it a long time ago. Like, she used that color as a highlight. So, I mean, you could, like I said, if you had to use this palette, like there's like a powdery shade in here that you could like set the eyelids with. So it is like a versatile palette, and that's what you're supposed to choose. But I never reach for this palette. The other one is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, like this one. This one has a lot of beautiful shades, a lot of peachy tones, some purples, neutrals. I don't know, my dog's doing. Smells really good. I don't know. This one's really cute. I never reach for this one either. And then you got the Too Faced Natural Love palette. Alright, so like I said, this one's like really sleek for traveling. It's got a huge mirror. It's got like a million colors in it. Well, I mean, look at all those colors that you could choose from. There's even like a black called Stiletto. There's shimmers, there's mattes. Honestly, this one seems like a really good choice. So I guess it would be down to these two. I would want to pick this one just because, like, I've always loved this palette so much. And I could do like a neutral look with this. I mean, you could do just a very neutral look with this. But then, if you wanted to, you could like really glam it up, you know? Which one? Okay. I feel like this is more practical, but I definitely want to pick this one. Let me look at this again. This is so hard. This is like that other one. It's just really difficult. I mean, there's really beautiful purples in here. There's a good mix of shimmers and a good mix of mattes. And then there's a black in here. There's a nice mirror for travel. I'm just going to go with this one, you guys. Honestly, I'm just going to go with this one. So, we'll pick, for Too Faced, we're going to pick the Natural Love palette. Okay. I thought I had more Tarte palettes, but I only could find 3. I think I got rid of a bunch of stuff in my collection. So, when I did that big declutter. So, this one I got, oh shoot, where did I get this from? I got this from QVC. I've only used it once. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2 eyeshadow palette. It's really beautiful, but honestly, it's just shimmers. It's only, well, I see like one, maybe there's another matte. Okay. So I haven't really played with this palette much to give it like an honest review, but I feel like it's a very cool tone palette, if you can see. Very cool tone. It's super pigmented though, very pigmented. I don't really feel like it's that versatile. So, I don't know, let's go to the next one. The next one is a like limited edition. This was in my like face palette drawer, but it's got shadows and it's a face palette with shadows is what I'm trying to say. This is Tarte, and it was a collab by Aspen Ovard, I think is her name. I don't remember what her name is, but I never really watched her channel. I think I watched her maybe one time, and she had talked about this palette. I got this stuff all over me. She talked about this palette, and it just looked so, the packaging looked so pretty, and I love the way Tarte smells. It smells very like vanilla, like sweet, like a bakery. I just love the way Tarte smells. And you get a really beautiful highlight in here, like it's bomb. I always forget to use the highlight. There's even a really beautiful soft blush in here. There's some really great neutrals in here. So this would be kind of a good one to keep, because you have a highlight and a blush, and then you have a bunch of like shimmers and mattes. So you could come up with like a full look with this, to be honest with you. But I never, ever, ever pull for this because it just looks blah to me. I don't know. It doesn't inspire me. I need to wipe my hands off. Let me do that real quick. Okay, guys. The last one I have is the Tartelette Toasted Palette. I love this palette so much. I never grabbed this palette, but look how dirty it is. When I do use it, it's very like powdery. It's super soft. The formula is super soft, so it's very powdery. But I feel like you could get a neutral look or a smoky look with this palette, and I do love warm tones. It's just a beautiful palette. I mean, shimmers. The mattes are great. I mean, I've always liked this palette. This is kind of like I feel like people either love this palette or hate this palette. I absolutely love it. So I honestly think, even though this does have a blush and a highlight, and it's beautiful, I think I'm going to pick this one. I'm kind of cheating a little bit this time, I feel like, because this is more practical, because you do get a highlight and a blush with it. But I think, oh, I do have another Tarte palette I totally forgot about. I have the, let me go get it real quick. I have another Tarte palette I totally forgot. Okay, so I have 4 Tarte palettes. Sorry, I also have the Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette, and I bought this, and I did a review like when I first started my channel, and I didn't really know what I was talking about, if I'm honest, but I did a review on it a long time, and I never ever use this palette, ever. It's so glittery. I just don't get inspired by it. It has a highlight, it has a bronzer, it has a blush, and it has like 9 shadows, but I just don't get inspired by this palette. So my pick is going to be the Tartelette Toasted palette. I love this palette so much. So I would definitely pick this one. I don't care if it's like not really practical. I just love this palette. So I would pick this one. Okay. So the last little category I have, oh, you know what? I have 3 Morphe palettes. So I was going to do Anastasia, but I only have 2 Anastasia palettes. And I have 3 Morphe, and you're supposed to do what you have the most of. Okay. So I have the Modern Renaissance by Anastasia. Beverly Hills. Obviously, everybody knows what this is. It's kind of like a classic. I never used this palette. I did when I first got it, because I've always been really into purples and reds and warm tones. That's just been my jam. I love it. And then this one is the Soft Glam palette. I didn't get the Sultry palette because I bought the Soft Glam palette, and I was like, do I really need the Sultry? Because I felt like this had like, it's such a good neutral. So I'm definitely going to pick the Soft Glam, because I feel like you can totally get a Soft Glam look with this. You have a black in here. You have a really dark, like brownish red color. You have like a really dark gray. There's your black. So you can really like smoke out these colors. And then you have these gorgeous like shimmery colors right here. So I'm going to go with this. I know a lot of people that did this tag picked the Sultry palette, but like I said, I don't own the Sultry palette, and I do like the Soft Glam, so I would pick the Soft Glam. That is the end of this tag. I hope you guys thought it was kind of fun. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. I would totally appreciate it. Also, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you get notified for all future videos. I will also link down in the description box. I will put my channel link so you can subscribe if you're not already. I will put my Instagram so you can follow me on Instagram, because I will be having a giveaway on Instagram this month for my YouTube anniversary. And also follow me on Facebook. I will be giving away a gift on Facebook as well for my YouTube anniversary. Also on this channel, I will be having a big giveaway for my YouTube anniversary. So follow me on all those things. Subscribe to my channel. Like this video. It lets me know you like my content. Leave a comment down below. What else am I forgetting? And I'll tag some of my YouTube friends. And I hope you guys have a good one. Bye. Oh, just out of curiosity, when you leave a comment down below, let me know like what palette brand you have the most of. I'm just curious. I would like to know like what you guys have. Like, I could not believe I have 9 Urban Decay palettes. So let me know in the comments, what brand do you have the most of? Okay guys, love you. Bye.